This is the second video for work sequence demonstrating how the work sequence works. In this video, I'm going to talk about the customer-producer agreement. In work sequence point of view, customer or producer agreed is one-side precision, stating a baseline to make a deal. Now I'm going to be the customer. When a customer decides to respond to a producer, the customer click Send the customer agreed, select a producer, read the qualification document, review the specification. Just make sure that the customer selected the right producer. In the first round, the customer agreed should be very preliminary and precise for the screening purpose, so as the customer, the only subject I like to send over by this document is my overall plan that includes my estimated cost to produce the products, the time range of the completion I required, the milestones I can check the progress, the criteria of acceptance. I type all these in the document and click the Send button. This customer agreed loop allows customer to respond to any producer who has sent the qualification document. Now let me get another sequence into the picture. This is a producer. It has a very similar structure as the quad electronics. Right now, this is the only sequence loaded in this browser. Whether or not to load the customer into this browser is the producer's choice. In general, due to the permission restrictions, you might not able to load your counterpart sequences that you communicate with by events. When it happens, you have to get used to only watch your own sequences and respond to changes accordingly. But in this video, I am going to load the customer to show that the same sequence can be loaded into different places and they present the same image when they are running. Each distributed network is a work sequence application. It's also an entity of www.worksequence.com. A distributed network could be a conversion of an existing business or could be initiated by a customer or a project. The first video and this one are talking about the later case. Through the customer-producer relation, the network expanded. A customer can invite any number of producers, and each producer can perform the customer role to invite its own producers. This relation will be repeatedly applied until all the work to produce the products has been taken care of. Now I'm the earphone producer. I have already prepared a qualification document, and now I'm going to send the document. Okay, by this moment, the document should be at the customer side. Again, I'm back to be the customer. I click the exit button to finish the first stage of the iteration. There are two stages in the row to pump up producer qualification documents. In the second stage, I have nothing to do except a click operation. This stage could be the place to have a pause action after handling qualification documents. Now I apply the click so that the execution will start over again. As quad electronics producer, I recognize there is a customer agreed document arrived. Before doing anything, let me say something about the horizontal sequence flow, which I have mentioned in the first video. In this case here, I have a control events and a click events. The counterpart of the control events is a synchronization events right here. What this sync and control pair does is synchronizing sequences, and it is the synchronization made distributed network possible. It just happened that this pair of synchronization events does pass document. Many other synchronization events in the work sequence do not. In this stage, there are a control events, a click events, followed by a click events, and a synchronization events. The execution flow is following this order. Without receiving a control events, you can apply a click on this button. There will be nothing happened because the ordering restriction from left to right. Work sequence suggests a work style which is commit to perform in timely fashion. Let me show how this concept applied in this situation. Before a control event arrived, you do not need to worry about anything for document or your work. You may not rush to click and read the document when you see a control event arrived. The time you click and read arrived document and the time you deliver your reply document is the measure of commit to perform in timely fashion. The reason for this is that all work sequences are synchronized. At the time you read the document, the people who have the viewer permission of your sequence will see it. They expect you to deliver your work to the receiving sequence sooner. The time you use affects the entire operation. Now I take a step back. When you see a control event arrived, should you respond sooner? I guess you committed. This is the end of the second video.